We have many plants for sale. We have much plants for sale. Which is correct? How do you know which to use? Confusing words. Many. Much. A lot of people are confused about when they should use many in a particular situation and when they should use much. So let's take a look at these two words and see if we can figure out when to use many and when to use much. First of all, the word many is used for things that are countable. So in other words, if it's something that you can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of whatever, then you know that you should use the word many. Many dogs. Dogs are things that you count, right? 1 dog, 2 dogs, 3 dogs, and so on. So many is the proper word to use. Many cars. You can stand on the corner of the street and count how many cars go past, or count the cars that go past. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, and so on. You can go to a playground and count how many children are playing there. 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, and so on. So things that are countable use many. But if you have things that are not countable, then you use much. Much is used for things that are not countable. Or sometimes it's helpful to think of it as things that are measured. So, much love, much trouble, much time. We don't count love, we don't count trouble, and we don't count time. And in particular with the last example, time, that's something that you measure. If you want to see how fast somebody runs or see who wins a race, you take out a stopwatch and you measure the time, right? So we can see that the key difference between these two depends on whether we're dealing with things that are countable or things that are uncountable. So that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Is this thing counted or measured? If the thing is counted, then you use the word many. If the thing is measured or not counted, then you use the word much. You can also get a clue from whether or not a plural form is used. So in other words, if you are using the plural form of the noun, then that's kind of a clue that you would use the word many. But if the plural form is not used, then that's your indication that much would be better. Let's look at some examples. Example 1. The pet store had much dogs. Well, ask yourself, are dogs counted or are they measured? Well, there's an S at the end, right? Dogs. So the plural form is used. Dogs are countable. 1 dog, 2 dogs, many dogs. The pet store had many dogs. Example 2. I don't have much time. Ask yourself, is time counted or is it measured? Look at the word, time. There's no plural form used, so it's not counted, it's measured. Much. I don't have much time. Example 3. How much eggs do we have? Again, ask yourself, are eggs counted or are they measured? Well, there's an S at the end of the word, right? Eggs. So the plural form is used. Eggs are countable. 1 egg, 2 eggs, many eggs. So, how many eggs do we have? Example 4. Don't take too much cookies. Are cookies counted or measured? Look at the word. Cookies. There's an S there, right? So it's the plural form. They're countable. 1 cookie, 2 cookies, many cookies. Don't take too many cookies. Example 5. John got sick from eating too much cake. Now this one's a little tricky. Is cake counted or measured? Well, we see that there's no plural form used for cake there, right? So it's not counted. We're not counting cakes, but it's measured. So we would use much. John got sick from eating too much cake. Example 6. How much water should I put in the coffee pot? Well, is water counted or is it measured? Well, look at the word. There's no plural form used there, right? So it's not counted, it's measured. So we would use much. How much water should I put in the coffee pot? Now, these last couple of examples can be a little tricky, and let's take a closer look at them. We said much cake and much water, but it turns out that you can also say many pieces of cake. So in other words, John got sick from eating too much cake is really saying the same thing as John got sick from eating too many pieces of cake. Likewise with water. We said much water, but we could have also said many cups of water. So we said, how much water should I put in the coffee pot? But we could have also said, how many cups of water should I put in the coffee pot? So these last two examples show us a rule of thumb. If an uncountable noun is used with some sort of counting unit, then we can use many plus whatever the counting unit is of whatever the uncountable noun is. So much water or many cups of water, many gallons of water, many bottles of water, many buckets of water, and so on. Gallons, bottles, buckets, cups, those are all counting units for water. Much ice cream, or many scoops of ice cream, many dishes of ice cream, many pints of ice cream, many quarts of ice cream. Scoops, dishes, pints, quarts, those are all counting units or ways of measuring ice cream. Much snow, or many inches of snow, many feet of snow, many tons of snow, and so on. So sometimes, not every uncountable nouns, but certain uncountable nouns can be handled in this manner. Another thing we should note is that with time, for example, we'd say much time, but if we're talking about specific units of time, then we would use many. Many seconds, many minutes, many hours, days, weeks, months, years, and so on, because those are all counting units of time. So let's summarize what we've seen so far. Really, the key concept to understand here is countable versus uncountable. So to determine when you should use many and when you should use much, you ask yourself, is this thing counted or measured? If it's counted, use many. If it's measured, use much. Now here's an opportunity for you to test yourself and see how you do. Example 1. How much chairs do we need for the party? So look at the word chairs there, right? There's a plural form. So they're countable. 1 chair, 2 chairs, many chairs. So how many chairs do we need for the party? Example 2. There is so much smoke at the bar that it makes my eyes sting. Well, look at the word smoke. There's no plural form there, right? You don't count smoke, you measure it, right? So we would use the word much. There is so much smoke at the bar that it makes my eyes sting. Example 3. How much bread did you bake? Look at the word bread. We're not using the plural form there, right? So it's not countable. Use the word much. How much bread did you bake? Example 4. There is too much wind to build a campfire. Look at the word wind. It's not the plural form, right? So it's not countable. You measure wind. So we would use the word much. There is too much wind to build a campfire. Example 5. The small library didn't have much books. Look at the word books. The plural form is used, right? So they're countable. 1 book, 2 books, many books. The small library didn't have many books. Example 6. We didn't get much rain over the weekend. Look at the word rain. The plural form isn't used, right? So it's not countable. It's measured. We measure rain. So use the word much. We didn't get much rain over the weekend. Example 7. I don't know how much seed I need to patch the lawn. Look at the word seed. We're not using the plural form there, right? So it's not countable, it's measured. I don't know how much seed I need to patch the lawn. Example 8. You used too much nails to fix that loose board in the fence. Look at the word nails. That's the plural form, right? So we count them. We count nails. 1 nail, 2 nails, many nails. You used too many nails to fix that loose board in the fence. Example 9. How much gas is left in the tank? Look at the word gas. There's no plural form there, right? So it's not countable. It's uncountable. It's something that you measure. So we'd use the word much. How much gas is left in the tank? Example 10. Please mail this letter for me if it isn't too much trouble. Look at the word trouble. That's not the plural form, right? So it's not countable. So we would use the word much. Please mail this letter for me if it isn't too much trouble. Example 11. How much apples does the recipe say to use? Look at the word apples. The plural form is used there, right? So they're countable. 1 apple, 2 apples, many apples. How many apples does the recipe say to use? Example 12. There was so much mail delivered after we came home from vacation. Look at the word mail. There's no plural form there used, so it's not countable. So we would use the word much. There was so much mail delivered after we came home from vacation. Example 13. How much leaves do you think are in that pile? Look at the word leaves. Leaves is the plural form of leaf. So they're countable. 1 leaf, 2 leaves, many leaves. How many leaves do you think are in that pile? Example 14. There's not much sand at that beach. It's so rocky. Look at the word sand. There's no plural form there, so it's not countable. So we would use the word much. There's not much sand at that beach. It's so rocky. Example 15. How can one person have so much clothes? Look at the word clothes. Clothes is the plural form. So, it's countable. So we would use the word many. How can one person have so many clothes? So that's it for this episode of Confusing Words, Many and Much. I hope that you liked this little video. I hope it's helped you. If it has, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. And if you have any friends that you think would benefit from this video, be sure to share it with them so they can also benefit from that and learn a little something new too. So I will see you in the next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.